Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Swiss. Obviously, we're talking NBA Finals, and the finals have been kind to us so far. 3-1 against the spread, which puts me at 49-33 against the spread on the playoffs as a whole. That's 59.76%. One more win, and that will put me over 60% of the playoffs. That would be a huge accomplishment for me personally, picking every game. So, wish me luck. Let's go.
Welcome to the Swiss. The Swiss. Hey, get the Swiss.
All right, like I said, NBA Finals, Game 5. A little bit of a depressing feel to this one. I could very possibly be recording my last NBA YouTube video until October, November. We've had a great season. It was a lot of fun, but this could be it. I'm not saying that's going to happen. It's just a possibility. Odds makers seem to think this is going to be the last one, putting this line up at 9. Obviously, this game's in Denver. Line opens up at 9. Total opens up at 208. Public is split right down the middle in this one. It's kind of crazy how even it is. Line opened up at Denver -9, and it's still Denver -9. There's no reason for this line to move because the action's coming in split. So we're still right on pace with my prediction for this series. I said Nuggets in 5, and I said Miami would take Game 2 in Denver. So I've been spot on so far. But we're not asking who's going to win this game. We're asking who's going to cover the number. So why don't we start out by taking a look at the stats from Game 4. Now, no question, Denver was in control of Game 4 from start to finish. But in my opinion, the numbers look a lot better for Miami than they did after Game 3. Game 3, I had no hope for the Heat. There's actually some bright spots in these stats here for Miami. First of all, the Nuggets won the turnover battle for the first time all series, 15-8. The Heat don't turn the ball over like that. 15 is a very big number for them turnover-wise. Miami's averaging just 11 turnovers per game in their last 11 games, which is the Boston and Denver series. And Denver defensively in the playoffs is dead last. 16th out of 16 playoff teams in forced turnovers. The Nuggets do not have a defense that forces a lot of turnovers, so I'd be really surprised. There's a lot of regression there for the Heat, in my opinion. I'd be really surprised if Miami even has double-digit turnovers in Game 5, let alone anything close to 15. And right now, if you're thinking, yo, Kyle, who cares? Who cares if the Heat turnover numbers go from 15 to 9? Well, that's 6 extra possessions. The Heat only lost the game by 13. Who knows what Game 4 looks like if Miami has 6 extra possessions? So the turnover battle in Game 5, I expect to swing back the other way. I expect the Heat to win the turnover battle again like they did in the first 3 games of this series, simply because their defense forces a lot more turnovers than Denver. Next up, let's talk three-point shooting, and this is another area where I think there's a ton of room for regression on the side of Miami. Denver had a great game shooting the ball from outside. 14 of 28, obviously that's 50%. We know the Nuggets aren't going to shoot the ball like that from 3 again. And then look at the Heat, just 8 of 25 from outside. That's just 32%. Both Miami and Denver are pretty even throughout the playoffs shooting from outside. They both shoot about 38, 39% as a team from outside in these playoffs. So basic law of averages tells us that Denver should shoot worse from outside and Miami should shoot better from outside. And if you're thinking, yo, Kyle, what about the rebounding battle and the points in the paint numbers? Because Miami won the rebounding battle in Game 4. They went toe-to-toe with the Nuggets in the paint. I personally don't see a ton of regression here. As far as rebounding goes, these two teams have been pretty close to even throughout the playoffs. So the Heat winning the rebounding battle 37-34 at home in Miami, that sounds about right to me. That doesn't sound off. And points in the paint wise, these teams were pretty close to even in Game 4. Again, I don't see a ton of regression here either. People think that because the Nuggets have Jokic, that they're this dominant team on the offensive interior. That really hasn't been the focal point of their offense on the season. In fact, on the year, Miami and Denver are pretty close to even in shot frequency in the paint. Denver's been a little more efficient, but I mean, they're pretty close to even in that department. So Denver slightly winning the points in the paint battle by just 2 points, that doesn't sound that crazy to me. Look, as far as betting this game, I'm doing the same thing I've done so many times in these playoffs. I'm taking the Miami Heat simply because the odds makers are disrespecting them with this line. 9 points is just too many. So give me Miami +9. I'm taking the points. Do I think the Heat can win this game? Yes, I definitely think they can. Will they? Probably not. I bet the Miami Heat money line in Game 2. I most likely will not be betting the money line in this. I'm just going to take the points. In fact, I already put $250 down on it, which is about a unit for me. I might throw another half unit on before tip. As far as the total goes, I like the under. I do. It's all the way down to 208, which, I mean, I'm not crazy about. But these teams seem pretty set on running a slow pace. I mean, in game 4, these teams shot 49% and 47% from the floor, something like that. So they were pretty efficient offensively. It's just the pace of play isn't there to cash these overs. So I like the under, but personally, I think there's more value in playing the Denver team total under, which is currently sitting at 109.5. Denver's such a heavy favorite in this one that the Miami Heat team total is sitting at 100.5. Denver's sitting at a 109.5. So instead of playing the full game under, I think I'm just going to play Denver team total under 109.5. As far as props go, I actually have 2 for you right now. I think I'm going to play Bruce Brown's under PRAs. It's at 17.5. I know that Mike Malone has made it perfectly clear that he's giving a chunk of Michael Porter Jr.'s minutes to Bruce Brown, but all it takes is MPJ to hit a 3 or make a nice play to steal some of those minutes back. But even if he does see the minutes, I still don't think it goes over this total. I think this line is an overreaction to the explosion he had in game 4. Yes, he went way over in game 4. But look at game 3. He got a ton of minutes. He played 29 minutes. That's a lot for him. He had 5 points, 2 rebounds, and 0 assists. Didn't even come halfway to covering this number. Like I said, in game 4, he just went off. He shot 8 of 11 from the floor. He saw 30 minutes in that game. So just 1 extra minute from what he saw in game 3. And he wasn't even close to going over 17.5 in game 3. So I'm going to take Bruce Brown's under 17.5 PRAs. I'm also going to play Max Strus over 1.5 threes. Now, I know I've taken 2 L's, I think, playing Strus's over in this series. But again, this line just seems like an overreaction. 1.5 is a super low number for him. And yes, Spoelstra seemed to give a lot more minutes to Robinson, Lowry, and Caleb Martin in game 4. It seemed like down the stretch, those were the guys that Spoelstra wanted on the floor. But similar to Michael Porter Jr., all it takes is Strus to hit a 3 or 2, and he's getting some of those minutes back. We know this dude isn't scared to shoot. In game 4, Strus only saw 19 minutes, which is concerning. He still took 3 threes. So even if for some reason he only sees 19, 20 minutes again, which I don't think is going to happen, but even if he does, this still has a solid chance of hitting. So give me Max Strus over 1.5 threes. If anything changes with any of these bets, I will let you know on Twitter. So give me a follow there if you're interested. Also, if you want the final ticket that I put out that has every single bet I'm making, how much I'm betting on each, and a same game parlay that I'm building, usually I make it around plus 1,000. If you're interested in that stuff, head over to KyleKirms.com. NBA Finals Game 5 could possibly be our last time talking NBA basketball until October. Remember to enjoy the game and bet responsibly, and I will talk to you on Twitter.